Haumetakepi. Khtatukinde ake Dakho api won Dakho. Wanted to talk a little bit about who we are as Dakota people, and last week the question of where are you from? Hemataha. I went over and wanted to talk a little bit about some other ways as Dakota people that we can answer them. So it's very important to know, as a Dakota person, your Thio špaye, or your family group. And we don't have clans, we have family groups. So some indigenous nations have clans, some indigenous nations have family groups. We're one of the ones that have more of a family group. But what does that mean? So this question Toni taŋhaŋ. Toni taŋhaŋ. There's another way you can ask. I'll give you some variations here. Dokya taŋhaŋ. Dokya taŋhaŋ yahi hai. Actually, let me fix that. I think I need to get a bigger whiteboard. Okay. Dokya taŋhaŋ yahi hai. Dokya is where. Taŋhaŋ is from. And sometimes it'll sound like taŋhaŋ, and sometimes it'll sound like taŋ. Dokya taŋ yahi hai. Yahi means you arrive here. These are both in the proper context. They can both mean where are you from. This one can also mean where did you arrive here from. But this first one, Toni taŋhaŋ, Dokya taŋhaŋ yahi hai. Where are you from? And a few other ways to ask that, but we'll just go with those two. So with this first one, we're going to focus on the first one, but they're the same thing, just giving you some variation. So however you want to answer it, Hemataha. So wherever you're from goes here. So if you were to say Kansas City, Hemataha do. And again, I'm going to say do because I'm a man. A woman would say yeah. Hey, Valni and Donna. But going to talk a little bit about this one tonight. In our Dakota ways, there are times, whether it's at ceremony or public meeting or whatever, sometimes we introduce ourselves. And last week I started that conversation about my name is, I'm from here, I was born in, I live at. But going to add to that tonight and talk about, as Dakota people, our family groups. And so my grandma, when she was still here, when I first started learning Dakota, she asked me, well, I was practicing Dakota on her, and I asked her, Dokya taŋhaŋ yahi hai, the second one here. And she said, Bidawa kantua oyate hemataha. And she said, now you make sure when somebody asks you where you're from, you say, Bidawa kantua oyate hemataha do. I said, okay, Koshi. So, so we're going to talk about those. So again, this is I am from, and as Dakota people, this is one of the ways we can tell other people that we're speaking Dakota to which family group we are part of, and sometimes we find out we're relatives. That's one of the ways. All right, so the bigger picture, so I'm going to back up just a little bit. the bigger picture, still have a cough. So this word right here, ocheti, cheti. Cheti by itself without the O there, cheti is to build a fire. Ocheti could be a fireplace, a fire like a campfire, something that was started. Okay. And then Šako, hopefully I'll get to that tonight. That means 7. I think I'm holding up 7. Napsuka's Šako, 7 fingers. So, but this is when anybody in English talks about the Sioux Nation. Sioux. So we don't say that. That's not how we describe ourselves. We say we are Dakota or Lakota or Nakota or all of us all together, we're part of the Ocheti Šako. So that's the 7 council fires. It's one way to translate. I mean, I'm using English here, using the foreign language to describe the first language of this land right here that I'm on. So being Dakota. All right, so the Ocheti Šako. But what does that 7 refer to? Here's what it refers to. So when anybody talks about Dakota people with a D, typically, now Ihangtuans are actually included in that. I just wanted to say that because I've been out to, well, I'm enrolled up at Spirit Lake, but I've been also out to Yankton Reservation. And I was talking to a speaker there, and I said, "So are you Nakota?" And she laughed and she said, "No, we're Dakota." So they have a D, but they talk a little bit differently, dialect difference. But anyway, so when people typically think of Dakota, what they're talking about is, so I'll put this one. All right. So now typically in fast speech, when people say this, they say bedewakantua or bedewakantu or bedewakantua, bedewakantua. Slow bedewakantua, bedewakantua. I've noticed a lot of second language learners mistakenly say bedewakantua, bedewakantua, but this is one syllable here, bedewakan. That is referring to Mille Lacs, but there is, I'm only saying it in documentation, they're saying that the Bedewakan, the giant lake that Dakota people, that this TOhSh started at, is Lake Superior, but I've always heard Mille Lacs, so that's just sharing what I was taught. But in Dakota, when we talk about Mille Lacs, we say Bedewakan. Bedewakan. But anyway, this is the first, and what I was taught was it was the oldest. That's just what I was told. I've heard it a few times. So the Bedewakan, and that is my, again, that's what my grandma told me to say. When you say somebody asks you, Donito, huh? I'm gonna say Bedewakan oyate hemataha. Oyate. Oyate can be a people. This word right here, oyate. That could be a people, a nation, a tribe. But Bedewakan oyate hemataha do. That's how I would answer that. Okay. All right. So that is. Whoops, let me get rid of this one here. So these 7 council fires, these are TOhSh. TOhSh. This is a TOhSh. There are 7 main TOhSh. TOhSh. T is to live or dwell. And špaye is a group. So I really like how Albert Whitehat from Sichanhu translated it. He said it's a group of people living together. Pretty simple. So, then we have uŋspe kute, or uŋspe kute. Uŋspe kute. There are not, I have met very few people, in fact, it's only less than not even a handful of people that say they're uŋspe kute. So, but I also have uŋspe kute ancestry. So these here, Oche Šako, I'm part of at least 6 of them. So, all right. 3, we have uŋspe. Oh, I always forget to translate. So, Bidawakantua, tuwa or tuwe, or means that's where they village, where they make a village, or they build a village. So, Bidawakan, tuwa. That is, that's where they have a village at Bidawakan. So, in English, it's interesting because they translate it as spirit lake dwellers. That's one of the translations. And I know going through these over the years, talking to elders, and especially Kunshi Carrie Schomer, if you know her, she says, spirit lake dwellers, everybody translates it like that. Might as well translate it like that in English. But it means a little more. This one, uŋspe kute. Uŋspe kute is... the short translation is leaf shooters, but what they're talking about, if this is your TOhSh, shooters among the leaves is another way. So to translate it. But if you want to talk about stealth, the male warriors in this, they could be standing right next to you and you wouldn't even know it. They were that good. They could sneak up on you and you wouldn't even know it. That's one of the stories. Now, if you go further west onto the plains, and part of Minnesota, Makoche, part of the land here, used to be prairie as well, woodlands and prairie. So, typically the Lakota, the Teton who is part of this, who are part of this, they get labeled, oh, they're prairie plains Indians. But this is one of the things that points to Dakota people not only being plains, but also woodlands. So not always living on sometimes living on both. But uŋspe, it's the dwellers among the leaves, is one way to translate that. And again, in Dakota, there are images that come up with these, that speakers, first speakers, see when these come up. Okay. Sissy Talk. So, if you are from this TOhSh, you would say Bidawakantua oyate hemataha. If you're uŋspe kute oyate hemataha. Uŋspe oyate hemataha. Sissy oyate hemataha. Sissy, that gets translated quite a few different ways. Dwellers of the fishing grounds, dwellers of the marsh, or the marshlands. But the story behind this one has to do with the food, the fish that this TOhSh, and there's a really good story by Clifford Chunku, and I think it's in his book. I think. It's been a while since I've looked at it, but in Clifford's book here, Tokaya Dakote Yapiki. I think he tells a story because I've heard him tell it in person, so I might be getting that mixed up. But he tells a story of how this TOhSh became Sissy Talk. And again, it has to do with a young man going out, trying to prove to the people that he can provide, and he is shown this food, this fish. And one of the other, and so my first teacher was from Sisseton. His name was Franklin Firesteel. And one of the things he talked about was from gathering the fish, the men's shoulders on their shirts, there would be that residue from the fish. So just sharing some information with you there. All right, so these are 4 of the 7. Okay, so again we have the Bidawakantwa, uŋspe kute, uŋspe tuan, Sissy Talk. These also have English Angloforms, and this one you might hear Midawakantun, but it's not Midawakantun. It's Bidawakantwa. This one, I do not know of an anglicized version of this. This one, oops, you might hear Wapaton, and this one Sisseton. But again, Bidawakantwa, uŋspe kute, uŋspe tuan, Sissy Talk. Okay. All right. So that's first 4 I'm going to do of the 7 here. And maybe I will put the other 3. Up here, so that they're all up here. Okay, so 4, 5. And this is not in any particular order, just kind of going from east to west, because the most eastern are the Bidawakantu. But 4, 5. So we have the ihunktuan. And 6, we have the ihunktuana. So we have the ihunktuan. The English for those are Yankton. Ihunktuan, dwellers at the end. Ihunktuana, the little dwellers at the end. And we have the Tituan, and those would be the Lakotas. Okay, so, but when we're talking about, again, we're talking about the Oche Shakui, we're talking about these. These are the 7. The Bidawakantwa, uŋspe kute, uŋspe tuan, Sissy Talk, ihunktuan, ihunktuana, Tituan. All right. So if you are from, and also very interesting about this, these also can break down into 7 other subbands. So just an example, Bidawakantwa people, one of their subbands is the yetu Oche. That's cloud machpia wichashta. Ehanachji Dakho wichashta wa bedema kaska ikiedati. Naku taoyate ki otue chiste de wanji yo happy. Yetu Oche happy. So a long time ago there was this Dakota man, and he had a village. His people had a village near, it's called Washichu. The foreigners came and named it Lake Calhoun. But Calhoun was, he was a proponent of slavery. and we're actually trying to get the name of the lake changed back to Bade Makaska. So that's what I was saying. I was saying Bade Makaska. But Mahpia Wichashta, this leader, he had a village there with his people. And that town and that TOhSh, they're called Ιακto Otue. So I would encourage you to find out, you know, if you don't know your main TOhSh is, to find that out. And if you know what your main TOhSh is, what is your TOhSh that would fit under one of these years? I'm not going to say sub, that sounds silly. All right. Looking for my Ipa Juju. All right. Now, I think last week got into, we're going to talk about age, but what if you don't know how to count in Dakota? We can do that. So, just going to put 1 through 10 up here. Wancha, Numpa, we could see this, Yamini, Dopa, Zapta, Šakpe, Šakoe, Shahadoha, Shahadoha, Nakciwanka, Gemina. So that's 1 through 10. Wancha, Numpa, Yamini, Dopa, Zapta, Šakpe, Šakoe, Shahadoha, Nakciwanka, Gemina. Now, one of the cool things about Dakota, if you know how to count to 10 like this, you modify it just a little bit and you can count all the way to 100. When we get to 100, it's a different word, but we'll go over that. So again, Wancha, Numpa, Yamini, Dopa, Zapta, Šakpe, Šakoe, Shahadoha, Nakciwanka, Gemina. Okay. Now you notice on these first 6 here, it's Wancha, Numpa, Yamini, Dopa, Zapta, Šakpe. And then when it starts with 7, well, I suppose I can write the numbers next to them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So one more time. Wancha, Numpa, Yamini, Dopa, Zapta, Šakpe, Šakoe, Shahadoha, Nakciwanka, Gemina. And again, you notice 7, 8, 9, and 10, the stress is on the second syllable. Okay. I know when I first started learning, I would say Šakpe, which is not correct. Šakpe. Šakpe. So, all right. Now, when we get into 11, that's, and it depends on, whoops, yeah, it depends on where you are. Sometimes the counting can be different. Okay, so 11 is going to be Ake Wanji. Ake Wanji. Ake Wanji. That's 11. Otherwise, see this Numpa, Yamini, Dopa, Zapta, Šakpe, Šakoe, Shahadoha, Nakciwanka. All the way through there is just you're going to say Ake in front of those. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, whoops, 16, 17, 18, 19. You're just going to say ake in front. Okay? So let's count 11 to 19. Ake wanji, ake numpa, ake yamani, ake dopa, ake zapta, ake shakpe, ake shakui, ake shahadoha, ake nakciwanka. See? But when we get to 20, 20 is math. So I'll do 20 over here. 20 is, this is pretty cool. Like I said, I've been learning the language for about 22 years now, and always fascinated by the complexity of our beautiful Dakota language. This case in point, Gemina Noba is 20. It just means 10 times 2. It's 2 tens, or 10 times 2. Well, you don't have to say times or anything. You just say the two numbers. Gemina Noba, and that's 20. Pretty cool. So, so counting by tens. So I'll just put a couple random ones up here. I'll do 40 and 70. So if 20 is Gemina Noba, 10 times 2, what is 40 going to be? 40 is going to be Gemina Dopa, 10 times 4, okay, or 4 tens. 70, Gemina Šako. So again, like I say, if you learn 1 through 10, there are just a few little things you have to change, okay? So now that's counting by. So with this lesson here, you can go back and watch this video again. That's the beauty of this. You should be able to count to 20. Start with 10. Start with 5. Then go to 10. Okay. Jennifer Rose is bidowa kantuan. Washdedo. Now, what if I want to say 22, okay? 22. So I'm going to say, now this is different. I think in Lakotas, this might be a little bit different, okay? And also, for Lakotas, they don't say ake, they say ake. It's not a hard K, it's a soft K. All right, so 22, Gemina Noba, Sam, Noba. My A on Noba looks kind of funny there. But anyway, so anytime, so we got 1 through 20, we got by tens, and now we're adding on. So Gemina Noba, Sam Noba. Now there are many ways to think about this. However it works for you, do it that way. Also, just want to say about the writing system too. However you write it, as long as you're pronouncing it correctly, that's fine. Okay. All right. So Gemina Noba, 10 times 2. Sam, you could think of that as plus 2. So again, it's actually a verbal math equation you're saying for 22. All right. So Gemina Noba, Sam Noba. 22. All right. Let's do 57. So if I'm going to say 57, what am I going to need to start it off with? Because it's going to be 10 times 5 or 5 tenths. So what do I need to start it off with? Gemina. Oops, my A looks funny again. Zapta, Gemina Zapta, that's 50, but I want to say 57. Gemina Zapta, Sam. I need to get a bigger whiteboard. Šako, Gemina Zapta Sam Šako. Okay, so that's counting in a nutshell, but you can go back. I think we'll put up a little worksheet or a lesson plan on counting up on the website. On the Bede Ota Dakota Iapio Cheti. But I wanted to talk about this because when we talk about age, because we're always wondering, how old is this person? How old are they? So, all right, so that's the base. Oh, here's 100. Whoops, okay. Opaweche. Opaweche 1G would be 100. Okay, so maybe we can get into counting past 100 some other time, but for now, practice 1 through 100. Okay, so so now we're going to get into age. Oh, I think I forgot to finish a thought. The reason I'm starting off with introductions is because in Dakota, like I said, at conferences or gatherings, even sometimes ceremonies, sometimes if we don't know who we are, we will introduce ourselves. And we'll usually start it off. I mean, this is I'll go over this, but say how mitake be ampetu kinde wasina something like that, like hello my relatives, I'm happy to see all of you today. There are other variations on that you may have heard. Then I'll say chante maza kaishmachia chanduhupa makyapido bedawakantua oyate ycztani. My name is Chante Maza or Machlia Chanduhupa, so I'll give my Dakota name. I'm Bedawakantua Dakota, that's where I'm from. Miniwakan Oyate Hechia Omao Pido. I'm enrolled up at the Spirit Lake Reservation. We'll go over reservations at some point. But anyway, when you're in a gathering like that, we give that information out. It depends on how much of the information we're going to give out. We don't always give out our Dakota names. We don't always give out our. It depends. Sometimes it's long, sometimes it's short. The amount of information that we give out. But I just wanted to share because when I first started teaching, I was visiting with speakers and saying, what should I start with? What should I teach? And all of them said the sounds. So that's why the first lesson, video started with the sounds of the language. Because they said, you have to make sure that they're saying things right. Okay. So that's ongoing because also I am learning the language. But introducing yourself, because when I meet another speaker, they'll say, where are you from? What's your name? What's your Dakota name? Do you have a significant other? Do you have children? Do you work? Do you go to school? All these things, sometimes even what is your TOhSh? Are you Dakota? And a number of years ago, I went out to Rosebud, and I was we went to Sintehideshka College, and our Sintegaleshka, that's how they say it out there. And we went out there to visit, talk about Dakota language. And they said, yeah, Albert Whitehat is having a language conference right now over at this one building. And we didn't even know that. So we were happy that that was taking place. We went over there and we went in, everybody was standing in a circle. And it was mostly Lakotas and Ihanktuans that were there. And as they were standing around, when we walked in, they had just started, but they were going around, they were introducing themselves like that. they're saying, hello, my relatives, I'm happy to see you. My Dakota name is this, my Thio špaye, all this stuff. And it made me really happy because it reaffirmed what I was told and what I was teaching. So just wanted to let you know that it's for real. So, all right. So, age. Wani yetu. Wani yetu nito nakca. Wani yetu nito nakca. Now, there are variations on this. You might hear Wani yetu nito nakca or Wani yetu nakca, but it's all the same thing. How many Wani yetu is winters or winter? Wana chada Wani yetu ayekte kaish wana Wani yetu aye. It is becoming winter. Wani yetu. Wani yetu. Remember, this has that soft T. It's not a D. You don't say Wani yetu, and you don't say Wani yetu, like two. You say Wani yetu. Wani yetu nito nakca. How many winters are you? And what's really cool about that is what it means is how many winters, philosophically, how many winters have you survived? How many winters are you? Okay, so me, Wani yetu Gemina Dopa some mashahadoha. So I'll say it again. See if you can guess how old I am before I tell you. Okay. So how you're going to answer that? You're going to say Wani yetu first. So somebody asked me, Chante maza, Wani yetu nito nakca. I'm going to say Wani yetu Gemina Dopa some mashahadoha. Okay. Wani yetu Gemina Dopa some mashahadoha. Okay. Gemina. So Gemina Dopa. So 10 times 4 or 4 tens. How much is that? That's Gemina Dopa. Sam is short for sampa. Sampa, more than or plus. Wani yetu Gemina Dopa sam mashahadoha. Shahadoha. So Wani yetu Gemina Dopa sam mashahadoha. Whoops. I don't know how to count any language. I've taken German and Spanish and Ojibwe. Anyway, yeah. So I'm 48. I am 48 winters. So now how would I write that out? So there's a little part here. I think I'm going to write it in a different color. Wani yetu. So Gemina Dopa sam. I'm going to write shahadoha. Okay. Oh, that extra color is kind of weird. What is this purple? Okay. So again, if somebody asks me, Wani yetu nito nakca. Wani yetu Gemina Dopa sam mashahadoha. I am 48. This ma is referring to me. So whatever age you are, you're going to put this ma right towards the end. Okay. So I'll do a couple other. So if you were to say you were oh, let's say 33. Okay, so Gemina Yamini. This is if you were answering that. Gemina Yamini Sam Mayamini. That's I'm 33. Wani yetu Gemina Yamini Sam Mayamini. I'm 33 winters old. Or do one more. If you're let's say 77, just for kicks. Okay, 77. So Gemina Šako Sam Now, very interesting thing about this. Where? Oh. Now, just wanted to point out, see Shahadocha here? I should actually do. So when Shahadocha is by itself, the stress is on the second syllable, Shahadocha. But when you put ma in front of it, the stress moves back here, ma Shahadocha. Just like Šako by itself, if you say Šako by itself, like here, the stress is on the second syllable, Šako. But when you put ma in front of it, it becomes Mashako. Okay, so if somebody were 77 winters old, Wani yetu nito nakca, Wani yetu Gemina Šako sam Mashako. I am 77 winters old. I hope to make it that far. We'll see what happens. But that's a little, okay, teens. That's when I don't. So if you're 5 years old, you're going to say, Wani yetu mazapta. Wani yetu mazapta. If you were 50, Wani yetu Gemina mazapta. That would be I'm 50. You have to remember to put the Gemina in there though. That's the 10. Because if you don't, and you're 50 years old and you say Wani yetu mazapta, people are going to say you're 5. Maybe here. I am sometimes. Okay. But if you're a teenager, so let's say like my youngest just turned 17. Wani yetu ake Wani yetu ake Mashako. See again, it all just goes on the last number, that ma. And again, that's referring to me. That's how you're telling the speaker you're listening to, you're talking about yourself. Ma. Okay? All right. So that's age. Just going to take care of my markers here. All right. So now I cannot remember. It's okay for review. I did not look at last week's video. I usually review. But anyway, okay, this is age. There are other ways to talk about age. This is a very basic way. Okay, so do you work? Do you go to school? And I think I went over those, but we'll go over them again anyway. So again, I'm very adamant about you should know the question and the answer in Dakota, especially if you say you really want to learn to speak Dakota. Yeah, again, with the age, there are other ways to say that. I'm just giving you one of the ways here. So, all right. Okay, we'll start here. Wadawa ha. Wadawa ha. Are you a student? Do you go to school? Okay, that's the context of that. And if you do, again, if you're a man, whoops. Okay, if you're a man, you're going to say, and you do go to school or you're a student, how wabadawa do. If you're a woman, you're going to say, wabadawa ye. Remember last week I talked about ye and do, male and female. Do is male, ye is female. And there's more to it, but as you progress in your learning, and hopefully you can talk to another speaker, they'll share more insight on it. It's much more than that. And if you don't go to school or you don't study, both men and women could say hiya. Hiya wabadawashni. Hiya wabadawashni. You just say it, wabadawashni. I don't study, I don't go to school. Okay? Because again, meeting speakers, they're curious. Like if they, especially if you come up to them and you start speaking Dakota, right away they're like, who is this? Who is this that's coming to me? And they're speaking Dakota. So they're curious. We're curious people. All right, so that's school. Not talking about where you go to school. It's just do you study? Do you go to school? Yes, I do. No, I do not. All right. And I think the other one, I think we did this last week, but again, review is okay. Now this one, this is how we say this over here. This is, I've heard Wicha no ha or Woashi cha no ha. Those are different ways to say it, but this is do you work? Chtayani ha. Chtayani ha. So again, same with up here. A woman could say for yes, or a man can say how. So man, if he's working, how chtawani do. Woman, chtawani ye. Okay, and if you don't work because maybe you're a student or maybe you're looking for a job or something right now, whatever. Hiya chtawani shni. Hiya chtawani shni. Okay, so trying to think of where else to go. So we talked about TOhSh, talked about where are you from, the Oche Šako counting. Do you go to school? Do you work? I think next week I'll talk about relatives. My goodness, there are many relative terms. Our kinship system can be perceived as a little complex, but there are some terms that we use quite a bit, more than others. But it's interesting because even visiting with some speakers every once in a while, they'll say, hey, how do you say, like if it's a man, how do you say older sister again? Tanke. Yeah, tanke wek chiwo dake unka. Yeah, so if you don't use the words, sometimes they're still there, but yeah, we can ask each other for help. That's a good thing. It's always a good thing. Help each other. All right. So very common in the language. I've been asked this many times. So this is the word for man. This is the word for woman. So for a man, wichashta. Wichashta. Now at West they say wichasha. Wichasha. But over here we say wichashta. We have that T at the end. Wichashta. And Waya. You hear how that's nasal? Waya. It's not winyan. It's not winyan. It's Waya. Waya. Because it's got this double nasal end. All right. So why I'm bringing this up is when we talk about, do you have a significant other? And just kind of going out, if you ask somebody, do you have a husband? You can say, Wichashta duha. Wichashta duha. Anything in front of duha is do you have. Got man? That's not how to translate that. It's do you have a husband? Do you have a man? And if you ask somebody, do you have a wife? Do you have a woman? Waya duha. I was talking to a speaker not too long ago, and they said, Waya duha. Waya duha. I said, no, waya duha. And if you do, so whatever you have. So this is a good, you duha. Is that inappropriate for non-related to ask that? No, Jennifer, it is not. Many of the speakers I met over the years were not blood related that I know of, and sometimes they ask that right off the bat. Waya duha. Remember, you want to say duha. Don't say wicha duha. That's a joke. That's plural. Okay, so. Again, do you have a man? Do you have a husband? Wichashta duha. Wichashta duha. Do you have a wife or a woman? Waya duha. Waya duha. Now, if you have a man, you could say wichashta baduha. If you have a wife or a woman, waya baduha. Remember to say baduha. Baduha. And this duha. Okay, so those words before for a man to say yes, how? So if I were asked, Waya duha, I'd say how? Waya baduhedo. How? Waya baduhedo. Okay, and if somebody is asked, Wichashta duha, a woman could say, Wichashta baduhe. Okay. So that's the basics, the very basics on that. But I'm going to give you a couple words here. So this is more like, I mean, you don't have to be married to have a, official husband or wife. If you've been with somebody a long time, in Dakota eyes, it's the same thing. Okay, so. Ladies, or if you have a husband, mihihana. Mihihana. Going to get into a little bit of a lesson here, and okay, these are old words. Mihihana. Mihihana, that's my husband. Mitawichu. Mitawichu is my wife. So if somebody asked me, Waya duha, I say, how? Waya baduhedo. And I could say, Mitawichu Monica Chapi. So my wife's name is Monica. And if you have a husband or a man, remember again, you don't have to be dun, 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 that you don't have to be. If you've been with somebody a long time, that's still your you could say mihihana or mitawichu. Okay, mihihana, my husband, mitawichu, my wife. Okay, and then so ichiapi, not ichiapi like itchy or H-E, it's Echiapi. In fact, when many speakers say this, this means he or she is named. When this is said, you almost don't hear that E, it almost sounds like Chiapi. Echiapi, not Ichiapi or Echiapi. Echiapi. So again, Mitawichu Monica Chiapido. Mitawichu Monica Chiapido. My wife's name is Monica. So, all right. So, that's it for this week. Thanks for listening. Hope you're getting something out of this. I do have some kind of long-term plans with these. I plan to do this for about a year, and we'll see what happens. It'd be nice to actually gather over time. More than a few times, hopefully, and just visit in Dakota. There is, of course, Minneapolis Dakota language tables. I like visiting Dakota, so just to let you know. Anyway, that's it. So see you. Oh, I think I will post my first grammar kind of linguistic-y video thing this week. I'm trying to find ways to make it more accessible to learners instead of linguists. So we'll see what happens. So you can always give me feedback. Tell me what you think about the videos. So nakca do wopita tanke chichapido daya awaiche dakapo. Take care of yourselves, my relatives. TOhSh wachiankapik. See you later.